Hi, my name is Juho Pesonen, and in this video I will be presenting a gravity model for tourism marketing that I have created in order for you to understand the uh, regularities and rules and theories governing tourism marketing big picture. This is part of the International Master's Degree Program in Tourism Marketing and Management at the University of Eastern Finland Business School. Well, here is the basic understanding of the model. So, what makes tourism and service marketing special in general is that typically it's the customer who has to come to the business or to the tourism destination, and this creates certain difficulties, but also opportunities in tourism, especially. Um, the basic idea behind this model is that the destination or business attracts tourists, and then on the other hand, certain kind of tourists attract destinations and businesses. And so there is this kind of gravity between these two entities. Let's look at which factors define the strength of gravity. The most central thing that you need to understand is that the attributes of a tourism destination or business are always in the minds of the tourist. So it's not about how the things actually are, but it's about the perceptions that the tourists have of the destination and business. And it is the job of marketing to affect these perceptions in a way that is positive for the destination, meaning that it increases the gravity between these two. Tourists are also interested in things to see and do, that whatever the destination and business has to offer is interesting for them. And the more there is things to see and do, and the better they fit what the certain tourist segments are looking for, the stronger the gravity between those segments and the destination is. Then, of course, perceptions about things such as safety, uh, price level, and especially accessibility is important. Accessibility both to the destination as well as in the destination are crucial for tourism marketing. If people cannot move around or get to the destination, it doesn't matter how good you are at marketing. And then, of course, the earlier experiences and all the things that affect the image and perceptions of the destination, such as online reviews and what friends and colleagues are talking about, affects the gravity of how interesting a destination or a tourism business is for tourists. And the idea behind accessibility is and this gravity model is that um, the accessibility is a huge factor deciding who you can and should market for. Let's say, for example, a small restaurant in Joensuu, where our program is located. Should they do marketing for Australian tourists? Hardly not, because that restaurant would have to be really, 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 really good in order to attract tourists with such a bad accessibility to the destination. Whereas Finland, as a country, because it has a lot of things to see and do, and all the other things that affect the tourist image, could very well be marketed in Australia. So the farther you look at the destination, the smaller it is. That restaurant could definitely do marketing in St. Petersburg or in Joensuu or in Kuopio or in Helsinki, depending on how good it is, depending on what are the perceptions of the tourists towards that restaurant. But you always have to understand where you can get those people even to come to your business and do marketing there. And because this is a gravity-based model, it also means that the distance between the tourist and the business is crucial for the strength of the gravity. And then it's not just that destinations and businesses attract tourists, but also certain kind of tourists attract destination and businesses. So who the people are, where they live, how much they earn, what they like, what is their consumption behavior, distance from the destination, and for example, information search process phase, all affect what kind of marketing a destination or a business can and should do for the tourists. Important concept is, for example, market saturation, meaning that different destinations are known in different target markets in a different way. For example, if Visit Finland is marketing Finland as a tourism destination in some markets, then those markets have much bigger market saturation than markets where no one is doing any marketing. And if you have to, as a small business, for example, go to a market where there is no one else in the destination doing marketing, it is a very difficult thing to do. And then, of course, the needs of the tourist should always be at the forefront. So your destinations and businesses have to find those tourists that have matching needs to what you have to offer. And the interesting thing about tourism and social sciences, especially, is that you can find things that contradict all of this, like people who just want to go to as far away destination as possible. So even though this holds true probably for the majority of marketing actions, there are always people with different needs and wants that you need to understand in order to do successful marketing. And that's it for this gravity model. I think the main concept you have to understand is that it's the perceptions of the destination and or businesses that define the consumption choices of tourists. And for example, accessibility is not a factual number, but it's again perceptions of accessibility and how difficult and how costly it is for tourists to go to the destination. So the goal of marketing is to affect these perceptions in a positive way among the right tourist segments and groups and people.